Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited because guess what? We have New York Times best-selling author JT Ellison is back at the cafe. Guys, let me just tell you, you think she dropped something with a very bad thing? You just wait till you read Last Scene by JT Ellison. I am super duper excited to be able to hang out with her today and to give you guys a new release exclusive on her new release that is hot off the press. And of course, guys, if you have not done so already, like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down to the cafe and to hang out with us today. And guess what? Grab your favorite beverage. You would definitely want to do that. Pull up a seat and enjoy. Oh my goodness. First of all, JT, welcome back to the cafe, my friend. And for those who may be new to you, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am JT Ellison, New York Times bestselling author. It asked for like a title when I logged in. I was like, what am I, chief murderer? Or so I don't know exactly what my title is, other than very grateful to be back with you today.
Well, I love it. I love it. Guys, let me just tell you, you are in for a treat. I'm gonna need you to run, not walk, and get you a copy of a Last Scene. Okay. JT, please share with us. You know you have to share and spill the tea, my friend. Your stories are intriguing, and they I love how like you pull us in like right at the beginning. I mean, at the prologue and all these things, you pull us right in and you have us right there. I mean, they're suspenseful. They're just everything that you want in a psychological thriller. I mean, you give us all the things. But can you share with us? I know there is a story somewhere. What inspired Last Scene?
So it was actually a dream. I
Oh,
dreamt, ironically, not the plot. I dreamt a whole entire plot, a whole book, the whole 9 yards. The problem was it was a romance, and nobody
oh,
wants a romance from
we are
thrillers.
getting some tea.
Yeah, this is the tea. So I figured out I really wanted to use the setting. It was very isolated, very insular. There was a writer's retreat. It was definitely someplace that, I would like to go. Beautiful mountain town and everything. And then I pitched it to my agent and I told her, I said, I've got this idea and it's set in a town called Brockville. And she said, "Okay, wait a second. Did I tell you I was in a town called Brockville last week?" I was like, "No." So the night that I had the dream, she had dropped her phone in the lake and had to go get a new phone, and the closest town was Brockville. I
Wow.
mean, yes, very, very spooky. And then I went to visit some friends in a biophilic community in Georgia. And standing in the middle of the square, I was turning around looking and I'm like, yep, I think this is Brockville. I think this is actually, it would totally work for what I want to do with this story. So it's been a
Wow.
kind of a amalgamation of really personal events that brought it all together.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. I love that tea that you have just shared with us. Now, okay, JT, you have the best covers, my friend.
Oh my gosh,
But
right? Look at that.
this cover nails it. What was that like when you had on cover? But when I was like, oh, this cover is perfect.
Wow. We went through several iterations on this cover. It was not the first cover. It was the first graphic because they sent it and I fell in love
Okay.
with it. And it's, the aerial view of a road. It's not the most original thing, but it's the most familiar. And I want that familiarity. I want you to be drawn in by what looks like comforting read. And Hallie goes on a road trip through the forest, and it just spoke to me on every level. But we didn't come to the pink highlighter font until the very last round. And I
Wow.
remember opening the manuscript, opening the file with it, and I just gasped. I was like, and I was like, that's it, stop, do nothing more. This is
Look, it is
perfect.
something about that pink that just pops.
It's very
And then
sinister pink.
the forest and it's thick and it's like it's you see the road that's in the middle, and then the car. I mean, it is perfect. I was like, oh my goodness, this cover right here. And not only that, guys, of course, the pink is like it's bold and it's bright
Boom.
and it captures your
Really in your
attention.
face.
But then, I mean, if the attention is in the details. The darkness is kind of like in the back and the shadowy
Mhm.
kind of look. Of course, it gives it that mystery feel, that psychological thriller feel. So, I mean, it's all the things. JT Ellison, I am in love with this cover.
I am too. I am too. It's a winner.
I
Absolutely a
love
winner.
it. I love it. No, JT, you have to share with us last scene. Okay. That is a punchful uh title because it's so much that goes into that title, last scene. Was that the original working title or did it come later? Spill some tea about this title.
Yep, it was not. The first title was Her Last Night, which
Oh,
yeah, and it's a great title, actually.
it is.
It was this is kind of a sad story, so everybody just buckle up. My little cat was very, very ill, and we knew that we were gonna have to let her go over the Rainbow Bridge, and it was her last night that we were sitting out on the porch together, and she was in my lap, and I wrote the proposal for this book. I was getting ready to try to sell it, and I needed something, and I remembered my Brockville setting, and as I sat there, she gave me the story. She absolutely gave me this story. And so I titled it Her Last Night.
Wow.
And the publisher was like, that's great, but you've got a lot of her titles. So we want to do something a little bit different. So I said, all right. And I'm glad now because if I kept talking about her last night, I would be a wreck, an emotional wreck out on the tour. But I said, well, we could do something with where she was last seen. I said, I know that's too long. And they wrote me back. They're like, last scene. That's it. That's it. It's last scene. And I'm like, okay, that's it. And it really is perfect for the story on so many levels, not just the literal, but the metaphorical as well.
Now, okay, I have to ask you this question, JT, because your writing, guys, let me just tell you, JT Ellison, she writes psychological thrillers like to the 10th power, okay? But for this particular story, I want to ask you when you are dealing with the elements of suspense, when you are dealing with the twist and the tensions, for you as the writer, is that drafted out and plotted out?
Mhm.
Or sometimes you are just in the writing cave and the characters speak to you, and then there may be a twist and turn, even with your writing. Tell us a little bit about the behind the scene and writing those.
Okay, so Angela, I know you've heard the whole plotter and pantser, right?
Mhm.
Everybody's heard that. I don't like that. It's not elegant enough for me. I like gardeners and architects. Some people are architects and they have to have blueprints for every stage of everything that they're doing
Yeah.
while they're building their house, right? And then you have
Mhm.
gardeners who we till the soil and we spread out the seeds and we have an idea, here's the packet of seeds. We know what's in it when we spread it out. But often something else comes up in the garden. It's not, it might be a
Mhm.
weed. It might
Yeah.
be a sunflower. It might be, a squirrel got in and left some contribution of their own. You just never know. That is how I write. I am a gardener. I like to spread the seeds, which is basically the synopsis slash
Uh-huh.
proposal, the thing that I've put together. And then I like to see what comes up, what
I
works, what
love
doesn't.
that.
Yeah, it's a little more organic process than just pantsing. I used to just do pantsing, right? I would just sit down and just write and whatever came out, came out. Now I'm a little more intentional. So I plant a garden and I wait to see what happens with it.
Wow, I love that. And speaking of that, we'll kind of stay in this vein just a little bit because Kimberly, she had a great question. She wanted to know, do you already know the ending as
Haha.
you're writing, or the ending sometimes surprise you as the author? That's a
I
great question, Kimberly.
it it is a great question. And no, I don't know the ending. I always discover the ending as I'm writing it. I've had books that won't end because I can't figure out what the ending is. I have had one or two books that I did know where I was going. And that's really difficult because you telegraph, right? Your subconscious is putting bits and pieces onto the page as you're writing. And you don't even realize that, on page 24, I've telegraphed who the killer is. Oh, whoops. So I like to go into it relatively loose. Again, plant the seeds, see what comes up, see what my garden looks like that year. And then when I get to the denouement, that's when I plan out how I'm going to end the book. So it's a surprise
Wow.
to
And
me.
Kimberly, she
It'll be a
also
surprise
said,
to you.
yeah, I love that. I love that. And Kimberly said that she always wondered how psychological thriller authors write because it shocks us and didn't see it coming. Yes, I love those moments. I love those moments where I'm like, "Ooh, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming." I love those. And to know that JT, that in your writing that you're surprised by the ending just like we are. I love that. I love that.
That's how I keep
Now,
it fresh, right?
I love it. Thank you for keeping it fresh for us too, guys. If you're just joining us, we are hanging out with New York Times best-selling author JT Ellison. Guys, let me tell you, her latest one, hot off the press, it is called Last Scene. You're gonna want to get this book. Not only that, guys, it's okay if you read it by yourself, but let me just tell you, buddy, read it. Buddy, read it with someone because you're gonna want to talk to somebody about what is going on with Last Scene. Kimberly, let me tell you, I will buddy read with you. I will buddy read this with you. Tell Kim, we'll call Tiffany Jones as well. We can all read it together. This book is amazing. I mean, well, you know what, you guys can catch up to where I am. I love it. I love it. JT, I want for you to share with the people as well. We're going to talk about these characters in just a bit. But let's start with Haley. I'm saying Hallie. Is it Hallie
Hallie.
or Haley?
Yep,
I'm saying
Hallie.
Hallie. Okay, perfect. Okay. Tell us
Halle
a little
Berry.
bit about Hallie's character. Because guys, let me just tell you, the way JT starts this story, Hallie already pulled at your heartstrings. She has a day that if this day could get any worse, okay, we'll just say that if this one day could get any worse, what would you describe or how would you describe Hallie's character for us?
She is, oh my gosh, she's so smart and so caring and so wants a life that she has dreamed of all of these years. Okay, I'm going to tell you some tea. I'm going to tell you a
Okay.
secret. You are going to
Ooh.
love this. So, when I wrote the first draft of this book, Hallie was 24 and she was just starting out in her life. She was graduating from school. She was actually in finals when her father called her to say he had fallen. It wasn't working. I needed her to be a woman. I needed her to have experienced good things, bad
Mhm.
things. I needed
Mhm.
her to have actually lived and to understand a little bit more about how life works. Because when you're 24, you don't really understand how life works. When you're
Mhm.
34, life has disappointed you. No matter how good your life is, you've had disappointments. You've had to make changes. So by moving her 10 years into the future, now the man that she has just met and is dating is the man that she is separating from because
Yes.
they aren't seeing eye to eye in their marriage anymore. And the job that she was just starting out at, instead, she's supposed to be being promoted and get
Promoted.
hired. And she's just having the worst possible day. And I think you can't have the worst possible day when you're 24. You need to be 34 to
Yeah.
have the worst possible day of your life. And so she
God.
does. She gets a call from her dad after all of these horrible things. She gets a call from her dad that he's fallen and has broken his leg and needs surgery. And she's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go home and take care of him. And that night discovers that her entire life is a lie.
Yes.
Everything that she knows about her life and her mother, who died in a car accident when she was 6 years old,
Right.
didn't. Didn't die in a car accident. She was murdered. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine going through that, having this horrible day and then finding out your whole life is a lie?
Yeah.
Very
Guys,
fun.
all I can say
Very
is,
fun.
and the plot thickens. And if you know
Yes.
anything about JT Ellison, let me tell you, the attention is in the details, how things unfold. I mean, you would just fall in love. You're not going to want to miss anything. This is a page turner, edge of your seat read as well. And I wanted to mention that because even guys, if you just check out the blurb, okay, check this out. It says she just lost her job at the forensic lab. Her dad needs emergency surgery, but the biggest blow comes back home where Marchburg, Virginia, where she discovers her mother didn't actually die in a car crash. Her mom was murdered and her father lied about it
Mhm.
all these years. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Now, JT, let's talk about the dad a little bit. How would you describe his character to us, guys? And he's a professor at
Yeah.
this school or a teacher at this school, this private school for girls, or what have you. But what can you tell us about his character?
So I absolutely love him. His name is Quentin, and
Mhm.
he is an astronomy and physics professor at the good school. He is, he's really modeled on my dad. My father didn't lie to me, obviously, but he is fascinated with space and the stars. And we grew up with that in common. And we love looking out, into the night sky with the telescope and those kinds of things. Plus, he took me to see Star Wars when I was 8 years old, and it really changed my entire life. Then I wanted to hang out with my dad and do dad things because dad had cool things to do. He's probably watching. He and my mom. Hi. I love you guys. Um, he's my first reader as well, which is kind of interesting. But it really Quentin is a good guy. He's a solid guy. He raised her to be the best person that she could be, and he kept her
Yeah,
safe all of these years. And yes, he's lied to her whole life, but it's for an altruistic reason. He's not just lying to her because he's a jerk. He's lying because she's in danger. If
danger.
she
He wants
knows
to
the
protect her.
truth, she's in true, genuine, blah, words, danger, and everything that he has done is his entire life is very selfless and to protect her. So he's a great guy. He's a
Yeah.
liar, but he's a great guy.
Oh my goodness. Now, and you shared this a little bit at the beginning when you talked about how this particular story came to you in a dream or what have you. But you gotta tell us a little bit again, or if you can go into it in just a little more details about Brockville, Tennessee, because it's a character in itself as
Yes,
well.
it really is. Brockville is, yes, it was the dream. The setting became its own character as I
Yeah.
started to build it, as I started to build the family, as I started to build Miles, who, had created this biophilic community and brought all of the people there. He's people have asked me if this is a cult book, and it's not. I mean, he's certainly not, excuse me, not running a cult. Pardon. I get all choked up at the idea of it. But he is a bad guy, a
Mhm.
really, really bad guy.
Yeah.
And that colors everything about this town, every single thing. It looks on the surface like a wonderful place to live. And then you scratch just a little bit deeper, and the next thing you know, the wheels come off the bus. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of really awful things happening in Brockville. And it's really interesting, who could time the news, right? The news cycle right now with the whole idea of people seeking isolation on islands to do bad things.
Hmm.
I really had no idea that that was going to pop at the same time that the book came out.
Wow. Oh my goodness, guys. If you are just joining us, we are hanging out with JT Ellison, her hot off the press book that's called A Last Scene. Of course, if you have a question or two, definitely put your question in the comment section. We'll be sure to try to include you as well. Now, I want to ask you this, JT, when you think about the characters that make up Last Scene, is there a character that I know it's a psychological thriller, but is there a character that was kind of like borderline interesting, fun, when they showed up on the page? And then was there another character that was a little more complex as you was fleshing out that character?
So there are three characters in this book, 3 points of view. There are multiple characters. There are 3 points of view. Hallie, her lost sister Katrina, and the monster.
Yes.
And the monster came to me first.
Oh.
He really likes to talk, and he really likes the sound of his own voice, and he is very self-satisfied. So it is one of those things where, you have to be true to the story. And I went ahead and ran with it. And so he got his own point of view where he's just so mocking, right? And he's just like, well, I'll tell you the story. But first let me get my shovel because there's this body over here I need to deal with.
Yeah.
He's just really a different character for me. This is a very dark book. This is not a light and fluffy story. It's certainly very far from where it started in The Dream, which was a romance. That was not exactly what everybody wants from me, but it is, the monster is a really interesting character and a really interesting narcissist. And if you read the audiobook, if you listen to the audiobook, Scott Brick actually narrates. And when I heard the first words out of his mouth, which are "come here, come closer," I had to stop immediately and leave my office. I got
Wow.
so creeped out. So I creeped myself out with him. He's that creepy. He's just
Wow.
a horrible character who really drives the narrative of this story and is very he's kind of our Overwatch. He is explaining a lot about what's happening in the town and the history and all of the things that are happening. And he's a very astute observationalist, which, I always like a third person narrator, and he's not. He's first person, and he is very much telling us everything that we need to know and things that we don't.
I love that. Y'all, let me just tell you, JT, okay, she's spilling as much tea as possible because, I mean, it's a psychological thriller, so she can't tell you too much. You got to read the book. And I had someone
Yep.
say, they was like, okay, I'm doing the audiobook. Y'all know we are audiobook
Yeah.
girlies and guys here at the cafe as well. Of course, we read print, we read books in all 3 formats. So I'm loving that. Let me just tell you something. Okay, JT just shared with you that there are 3 points. Let me tell you, JT is the queen of point of views. Okay, first of all, if you've read A Very Bad Thing, it is 9 points of views, and every one of those points of views is necessary. And the same thing with this one. It's 3 points of views, but all 3 of those points of views are necessary. And JT Ellison does it so well. So I will drop that to you to let you know that, oh my goodness, you are in for a treat. If you guys are just joining us, hanging out with New York Times bestselling author, her latest release, hot off the press, Last Seen, available in audio, ebook, and print. We'll be sharing with you in just a bit of how you can get your hands on a copy of it. And JT, are you sharing a little snippet with us today? Are you prepared to share a little snippet with us?
I can if you would like me to.
Yeah, of course, of course. So, guys, get ready. She's getting ready to share just a little snippet, just enough to wet your whistle as well. And of course, while she's getting that ready, we will be sharing with you as well of how you can stay connected with JT Ellison, how you can get books from her backlist, and of course, how you can get your hands on a copy of Last Seen. And JT, we are ready when you are, my friend.
Okay, I'll give you a couple of paragraphs from the prologue just to give you the voice. I have never run so fast before. The woods are thick and impenetrable to the eye, and I stumble through, desperate for a hint of light. Trees reach out with long branches to impede my path. Rocks shift and make me skid. Bushes appear from nowhere, sharp things scratching me open. More than once, my ankle turns, sending searing pain through my body. But I cannot stop. If I stop, I will be dead. Maybe here under the sky and moon, maybe there in the vast darkness. I have to get away. This is my only chance. I'm panting, but I must be quiet, breathe through my nose, and pray he can't hear me crashing through the trees. I have a head start, only just, but his footsteps come anyway. their rhythm a corrupt heartbeat. I veer off to the right, then to the left, following no discernible path, trying to throw him off. He is hunting me. I know he is, back there with that look on his face, the twist of his lips, the shine in his dark eye, the perverse joy in being the cause of my fear. We'll stop there. Before I
Stop
freak
there.
everybody out.
Okay. First of all, did y'all lean in? Did y'all lean in just hearing that little bit? I told you, you were in for a treat. Go ahead, get you a copy of Last Scene. I see Natasha Crawford here. Natasha, I was like, we need to buddy read. We need to buddy read. Okay. We may need to even have a book club meeting afterwards and see if JT
You're
can
getting
come
a
back
book
and
club
talk
at this
to us
rate.
about it. Okay. I am trying to be first partaker to get all the dibs, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about this as well. JT, they are in the comment section. The comments are on 10. Okay. They are super duper
Good.
excited about this as well. We are super duper excited for you guys. Guess what? It is hot off the press. Release date is August 1st. Okay, go ahead, get your copy. It's available in audiobook, ebook, and print copy as well. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about these particular characters and for the town and all of these things.
Mhm.
For you, how is it? What's that balance like for you as a writer? Are there moments flow, but then after you write some of the scenes that may be dramatic and things of that nature, do you have to kind of take a moment and pause, or you can just go right through? What is that like for you as the author?
You know, I'm in control, right? That is the value of using your work as your therapy. You're in control, right? So this
Mhm.
book is very much an exploration of something that I've always wanted to look at. Whether isolation breeds madness or evil people find isolated environments to do bad things. It is the latter, I think. I think there is some to the former, but I think for the most part, people seek out a quiet place to do horrible things, and then they find each other, and that's even worse. And that is something I really wanted to explore because I grew up in a very isolated area out in the woods in Colorado, and known and unknown to us, there was some really nefarious, horrible things happening in the neighborhood. And some of it I knew about, and some of it I didn't know until I was older, and some of it I really, really didn't know about until I was an adult, that I could understand. It is fascinating to me, the idea that people will step outside of the social construct of what is polite civilization to do terrible things. It drives a lot of my
Mhm.
work, this kind of exploration of the psychology behind crime, but this one in particular was very personal to me. And I was just really trying to work my way through that. When I was writing the monster chapters, yes, I would have to take a break. I would have to balance it out with something good. I was reading Fourth Wing, and the whole series while I was writing this. So that was my balance. I would go and I would dive into a fantasy world and get away. Now, that's a very violent fantasy world. It's not exactly light and fluffy, but it was a really good counterpoint to this because it too was dangerous life and death situations. And reading and writing are how I process all of my emotions anyway. So that it really helped. Thank you, Rebecca Yaros.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And that is neat for you to be able to do that too. That in your writing, you're able to kind of read and kind of,
Yeah.
departmentalize of what have you
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
you're
That's
doing
exactly
that.
it.
Yes.
That's exactly
Now,
what you have to do.
I want to ask you this. When you think of these three words, because when you deal into some of the psychology in this, some of the emotions in this, especially with Hallie's character, her emotions kind of straddle between these three things. She has grief, she has
Mhm.
betrayal, and then she has self-discovery. When you hear those three things or those three words or descriptives, what comes to mind? Grief, betrayal, and self-discovery when it comes to Hallie.
You know, I wrote this from a place of bereavement, having lost my cat. I know she's just a cat, but I mean, she was my baby. And her
Mm,
sister, we still have her twin sister, and it was an incredibly difficult place to write from.
mhm,
And so I was on my own journey of self-discovery. I was
mm,
working through a grief that just it was unfathomable. And we don't have kids, right? The kitties are our kids, and it was like losing a child, and my friends were really supportive, and everybody was really, really helpful, and I had to figure out who I was on the other side of that, because it really knocked me down. And granted, I was writing some seriously dark material, and I was diving into some childhood traumas and all of that kind of stuff, but it really, it helped me make Hallie a lot stronger and a lot more capable, because
mhm,
I knew I wanted her to be the hero. She needed to be the
mm.
hero. She needed to save herself and maybe save other people too. And you need to be a
Wow.
strong person to be able to do that. So,
Mhm. 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 Okay, I have two more words for you. Also, when it comes to Hallie, I mean, there's secrets that are being
mhm.
uncovered, but then there's also legacy with her family. What comes to mind when you think of those two words, secrets and
Wow.
legacy?
Secrets and legacy. Well, I mean, her entire life is a secret, right? Everything that she's been told is wrong.
Right.
Everything she's been told is a lie. So she has to remake herself through this entire book. So, again, that then circles back to the self-discovery, because she has to discover what of her memories are real and what isn't. And she does have memories. And as the book progresses, the more she unlocks about the mystery, the more she unlocks the memories of what happened. And that is,
Mhm.
that is a lot of fun. The family aspect of it, it's hard to lose your family, right? I can't even imagine
Yeah.
what that would be like. And for her to have some found family in this as well. It I think helps her. It helps flesh her out and gives her some hope. And we need hope in this kind of darkness, in this level of darkness. We need hope, right? And
Yeah.
that's my job as a writer. I can write all the bad things and we can laugh and joke about it, but my job is to take you to that brink, let you look at the darkness, but then pull you back and show you the hope that comes out of conquering these problems.
Mhm. Wow. Thank you so much, JT, for sharing that and spilling the tea, guys. If you're just joining us, we're hanging out with New York Times bestselling author JT Ellison. Guys, hot off the press, Last Scene, available in audiobook, ebook, and print. We'll be sharing with you in just a moment how you can get your hands on a copy. JT, we have to ask you this question, my friend, and you may have given it some thought, but and people have been commenting in the comment section as well that they can see this as a Netflix special. They can see this on screen. So, if that was to happen, who would you, if this was adapted into film, who
Mm.
do you see playing Hallie's character? Is there a person that you see playing the monster, the dad? Have you thought about that?
So the dad, Miles is Ian McShane, right? I've
Mhm.
always seen Miles as Ian McShane. He
Okay.
just from day one, that is who he looks like to me.
Okay.
Um, and I think when she meets him, she even says, that he looks like a movie star, and
Yeah.
that's who I was thinking. Hallie is such a broadly appealing character that I think a lot of different actors could play her.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
Katrina, I see somebody, more like, I don't know, maybe Florence Pugh, somebody who has a lot of complexity
Yeah.
and can really mind their emotions. Um, Hallie, I don't know. I don't know who would be perfect for her, because she's, like I said, there's a lot of really talented actors who could pull that
That can
off
pull it off. Absolutely.
and make her their
Absolutely.
own. I mean, that's what you want. I never want to typecast a character,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know enough about how adaptation works that a lot of how it works is how the actor interprets the character. I mean, look at Malin Ackerman in The Hunting Wives. I mean, she has taken that character and created something completely new out of her that you don't
Yeah.
even in the book. That's what you want. You want an
Yeah.
actor to take your story and take your character and create somebody who is so compelling and dynamic, you can't look away.
I love it. Thank you so much, guys. Let me tell you, the time goes by so fast, but
Oh, well.
we'll be sharing with you in just a moment how you can get your hands on a copy of Last Scene. JT, please share with them. I know they're on the edge of the seat, especially after you have read that snippet. They want to know how can they get a copy of Last Scene, which, guys, it is available in all three formats: audio, ebook, and print. JT, please share with us how can we get a copy.
So you obviously any bookstore, your library, your online, you can get it from anywhere. And if you need links, you can come to my website, jtellison.com, and go to the Last Scene page. And I've got them all laid out for you, nice and pretty. And you can click on them and have things delivered right to your hot little hands.
I love that. I love that. And JT, please share with us, my friend, how can we stay connected with you? And I got a good intention that I'm gonna probably be in contact with you, because looking at them comments, I think we're gonna do a buddy read, and we're gonna want you to come do a literary cafe book club.
That would be fun. That would be, I would love that. That would be really fun. So I will say one thing. So you can find me on Thriller Chick is my handle on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. It's JT Ellison 14. Also, I have a Substack called The Creative Edge. And I actually live wrote this entire book, the entire process of the writing from concept to, I have 2 steps left, publication day. So it's a 22-step process, and it's kind of almost a writing course. I didn't really know what it was going to be. I was just going to kind of detail all the different things that I was thinking and feeling, and it's turned into a very instructive area. So if you like to write, or you know somebody who might, come to the Creative Edge on Substack. You can also get to that through my jtellison.com under blog. And I think you might enjoy some of the backstory of how this book was created as it was being created.
I love that. Thank you so much, JT. And guess what, guys? There is a giveaway. JT is giving away a $25 Amazon gift card. Oh my goodness. I'm super duper excited about her giveaway on today. She's going to help me. And of course, all you have to be in the running for this amazing day is to comment throughout the conversation on today. All right, JT, are you ready, my friend? Give me one moment. And let's see, I am ready when you are, when you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Kim Maddox, you are the winner, my friend. If you will inbox me your information, I'll be sure to get that over to JT Ellison. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, let me just tell you, we have had an amazing time hanging out with JT Ellison on today, telling you about her hot off the press new release, A Last Scene. JT, my friend, we have to allow you the last words of what you want to say to the people tonight.
Oh, I just am so grateful for all of you. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you. And thank you so much for being a part of my world.
I love that. I love that. And guys, guess what? After you read this book and you tell a friend to tell a friend, definitely leave a review. I know that JT Ellison will be so appreciative of that. Stay connected to her as well. Go to her website, check out her backlist, sign up for her newsletter, do all the things to stay connected with her. And of course, guys, I'm going to say it one more time. Tell a friend to get a copy of A Last Scene and enjoy this amazing read that will have you on the edge of your seat wanting more. And you will not see it coming. You will not see it coming. JT,
hopefully not.
Thank you so much, my friend, for hanging out with us on today.
You are
We've
so
had an amazing
fabulous.
time.
I hope everybody gives you some applause for the fabulous beret. It's wonderful.
JT. Thank you so much. Guys,
Thanks for having me.
That's the show on today. And as we always say, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Get you a copy of Last Scene, hot off the press. Bye-bye.